Most cloud engineers asking for a raise this year might get a 10, maybe 15% bump, if they're lucky. But a select few, an elite group, won't even have to ask. They'll be fielding offers for over $250,000, typically from major tech firms or in high cost of living areas. So what's the difference? It has almost nothing to do with how many cloud platforms they've mastered. The market is full of people with AWS, Azure, and GCP certifications. That path isn't the golden ticket it used to be. The real money, those $250,000 roles, isn't found by just adding another logo to your resume. It's found by following a completely different roadmap. And today, I'm giving you that map. Let's be brutally honest. You've been told a lie. The lie is that the path to a top-tier cloud engineering salary is paved with certifications. Get the AWS cert. Now get the Azure one. Now Google. Keep stacking them until a FAANG company magically drops a treasure chest of cash on your doorstep. And it's an appealing idea, right? It feels like a video game. Collect the badges, level up. But in 2025, that game is rigged. While there's still high demand for mid-level roles, with salaries typically sitting between $122,000 and $152,000, the jump to the $250,000 bracket isn't just another step on the ladder. It's a leap to a different ladder entirely. The engineers stuck in the $150K range think the next certification is their ticket. The engineers clearing $250K know the truth. Technical skills alone have a ceiling. To smash through it, you need to blend deep, specialized technical mastery with smart career moves and a relentless focus on business impact. This isn't about learning more, it's about learning different. It's about becoming the person who doesn't just manage cloud infrastructure, but who uses the cloud to solve million-dollar problems. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to lay out the three-pillar framework that separates the average cloud engineer from the highest-paid architects in the game. Forget what you think you know. This is the real roadmap. The first hard truth we have to face is the myth of the multi-cloud generalist. A few years back, knowing your way around AWS, Azure, and GCP was a huge deal. Companies were hedging their bets, trying to avoid vendor lock-in, and they paid a premium for engineers who could speak all three languages. That premium is shrinking. Why? Because the core concepts of cloud, virtual machines, object storage, managed databases, are basically standardized now. At their core, S3, Azure Blob Storage, and Google Cloud Storage are all just buckets for your stuff. EC2, Azure VMs, and Compute Engine all do the same fundamental job. The market is now full of engineers who can handle basic tasks across all three platforms. That has diluted the value of the very skill that once made you special. Think of it like being a car mechanic. Knowing how to change the oil on a Ford, a Toyota, and a Honda is a great skill, but it makes you a generalist. It doesn't make you the specialist who can diagnose and rebuild a high-performance engine for a race car. The generalist earns a decent wage. The specialist gets to name their price. In the cloud world, the $250,000 engineer is that specialist. They know the real value isn't in knowing 3 different ways to launch a VM. It's in mastering the complex, high-impact domains that solve huge business problems. Ironclad security, radical cost savings, and lightning-fast development. While being aware of the different clouds is good, deep expertise in one, plus mastery of transferable, high-level concepts, is what commands a top-tier salary. The demand isn't for people who know 3 clouds. It's for people who can solve the hardest problems, period. This brings us to the first pillar of our roadmap: deep, specialized technical mastery in the areas that companies are willing to pay a massive premium for. If another associate-level cert isn't the answer, what is? The answer is to go deep, not wide. The $250,000 engineer isn't a jack of all clouds. They are a master of specific, high-leverage domains. For 2025, these are the battlegrounds where careers are made. 2.1. Infrastructure as Code, IAC, is the bedrock. First, a baseline. If you are not an expert in infrastructure as code, you are not a serious contender for a top senior cloud role. This is non-negotiable. Manually clicking through a console is the technical equivalent of writing a letter by hand. It's slow, error-prone, and impossible to scale. And I don't just mean knowing how to write a basic Terraform script. I mean you live and breathe this stuff. You build reusable, modular, version-controlled infrastructure. You use tools like TerraGrunt to keep multiple environments sane. You understand state management, locking, and how to safely run complex changes in production without breaking a sweat. You treat your infrastructure with the same discipline a software engineer treats their code. This is foundational. It enables speed and reliability, two things every business is desperate for. 2.2 The unstoppable rise of Kubernetes and containerization. Next up is container orchestration, and right now, that means Kubernetes. Sure, cloud providers have fantastic managed services, but businesses running complex apps at scale eventually turn to Kubernetes for its raw power and portability. A $250K engineer doesn't just know how to deploy a container. They understand the entire ecosystem. They can design and build resilient, secure, and observable clusters. They can wrangle networking with service meshes like Istio or Linkerd. They can implement GitOps workflows using tools like Argo CD or Flux to automate everything. They know how to manage secrets, dial in auto-scaling, and most importantly, how to debug the kind of complex, cascading failures that happen in distributed systems. This is why certs like the Certified Kubernetes Administrator, CKA, are so respected. They test practical, real-world skills. 2.3 The Twin Dragons, Security and Cost Optimization. This is where you really start to pull away from the crowd. Any decent engineer can build something. A great engineer can build it securely and affordably. A $250K engineer is obsessed with security and cost. According to IBM's 2024 report, the average data breach now costs a company a staggering $4.88 million. As a result, roles like cloud security architect are some of the highest paid in the industry. This isn't about just tweaking a firewall. It's about DevSecOps, embedding security into every single stage of the process. It means you understand identity and access management, IAM, on an expert level, live by the principle of least privilege, and use tools to continuously scan for vulnerabilities. You need to be familiar with compliance frameworks like SOC2 or HIPAA, depending on your industry. The other side of this coin is FinOps, or cost management. Cloud bills can spiral out of control with terrifying speed. An engineer who can demonstrably save a company hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars is incredibly valuable. This means deeply understanding cloud pricing, using cost analysis tools effectively, and architecting for efficiency from day one. Can you implement spot instances safely? Can you design smart auto-scaling? Can you build a culture of cost awareness on your team? Answering yes to these questions puts you in a different league entirely. 2.4 The New Frontier, the AI/ML integration layer. Finally, the newest and fastest-growing specialty is integrating AI and machine learning services. You don't need to be the data scientist inventing the algorithms. You need to be the engineer who builds the robust, scalable cloud infrastructure they depend on. This means knowing your way around services like AWS SageMaker or Azure ML, building data pipelines, and deploying AI models to production. As every company races to bake AI into their products, the demand for cloud engineers who can bridge the gap between infrastructure and AI is exploding. Specializing here puts you right at the tip of the spear. Pillar 1 is about building a T-shaped profile, broad knowledge of the fundamentals, but deep, world-class expertise in one or two of these high-value areas. This technical depth is your ticket to the dance, but it's only half the equation. Having elite technical skills is necessary, but it's not enough. I've known brilliant engineers who were dramatically underpaid because they failed to master the second pillar, the strategic levers that control your career and your paycheck. If technical skill is your engine, this pillar is the steering wheel and GPS. 3.1. Build a network that works for you. Let's be real, the highest paying jobs are rarely on public job boards. They're filled through referrals, through networks, and through reputation. You can't just apply your way to a $250K role. You have to be invited into the conversation. This means strategically building your professional network. And no, I don't mean just mashing the connect button on LinkedIn. I mean providing real value to a community. First, become an active participant where other experts hang out. This could be specific Slack communities, open source projects, or forums. Don't just lurk. Answer questions. Help people. Share what you're learning. Second, think about contributing to open source. Find a tool you use every day, a Terraform provider, a Kubernetes operator, and start contributing. It can be as simple as fixing documentation, then a small bug, and then a new feature. This is one of the most powerful ways to build a public portfolio of your skills. Third, follow the leaders. Find the principal engineers and distinguished architects at major tech companies. Read their blogs, watch their talks, and engage thoughtfully with their work. When a hiring manager needs to fill a critical role, they ask their network, who's the best person you know for X? Your goal is to be the name that comes to mind. 3.2. The art of the interview. Sell business value. Once your network gets you in the door, the interview is where you prove you're worth the big bucks. Most engineers make a critical mistake here. They talk about what they did. I configured a CI/CD pipeline. I set up Kubernetes. I migrated our databases. A $250K candidate talks about the impact of what they did. They speak the language of the business: money, risk, and speed. Instead of, I configured a CI/CD pipeline, you say, I led the redesign of our CI/CD pipeline, which cut deployment time from 4 hours to 15 minutes. This let us ship features 35% faster and crush our competitors' release cycles. Instead of, I set up a Kubernetes cluster, you say, I architected our new Kubernetes platform, which boosted uptime to 99.99% and cut our infrastructure costs by $300,000 a year by leveraging spot instances. Instead of, I migrated our databases, you say, I managed a zero downtime migration of our customer databases, which eliminated thousands of hours of manual operations and dramatically reduced our risk of data loss. See the difference? You're not just a techie, you're a problem solver. You're drawing a straight line from your keyboard to the company's bottom line. Before any interview, create a brag document listing your projects and their quantifiable business impact. This is your ammo. 3.3. Master the negotiation, from asking to justify. Finally, the moment of truth. The most important rule of negotiation is this: you don't get what you ask for. You get what you can logically justify. First, do your homework. Use sites like levels.fyi and Glassdoor to benchmark the compensation for your target role at that company in your location. Walk in knowing exactly what the market rate is for your specialized skills. Second, never be the first to name a number. When asked for your salary expectations, say something like, I'm really excited about this opportunity, and I'm confident we can find a number that's fair for the value I bring. I'd love to first understand the company's budgeted range for this position. When they make an offer, you don't just counter. You present your case. You calmly walk them through your key accomplishments, referencing the business impact and hard numbers you prepared. You connect your past wins to their future needs. And remember to negotiate the entire package. Base salary is just one piece. There's the signing bonus, the performance bonus, and most importantly, the equity. A 10% bump in your equity grant can be worth far more than $10,000 in base salary. Don't be afraid to negotiate for a better professional development budget or more remote flexibility. Each one is a lever you can pull. The final pillar is about applying your skills in the right place. A world-class engineer at the wrong company will always be underpaid. This is about strategically choosing where to apply your talents for maximum reward. First, target the right employers. The reality is, not every company can pay $250,000 for a cloud engineer. The highest salaries are concentrated in a few places: big tech, well-funded high-growth startups, and industries like finance, where tech is a massive competitive advantage. Go where the complex problems and the big budgets are. Second, target specialized, high-impact roles. The title Cloud Engineer is broad. The roles that command top dollar are more specific: Cloud Security Architect, Principal Site Reliability Engineer, or Senior DevOps Engineer specializing in FinOps or MLOps. These titles signal seniority and specialization that immediately puts you in a higher pay bracket. Finally, build your portfolio of proof. Your resume lists jobs, a portfolio shows impact. This doesn't have to be a fancy website. It can be a clean GitHub profile showing your open source work. It can be a blog post detailing how you solved a tough technical problem. It could be a talk you gave at a local meetup. This portfolio does two things. It's tangible proof of your expertise you can share during the hiring process. But more importantly, the act of creating it, of explaining your solutions, forces you to clarify your own thinking and solidifies your status as an expert. This is how you prove you aren't just another engineer, but a leader who drives real business results. If you're serious about breaking into that top tier, these pillars are your path forward. It requires a shift in mindset, from being a passive collector of certs to being an active architect of your career. For those looking to go deeper, I highly recommend a professional-level certification in your specialty. Certs like the AWS Certified Solutions Architect Professional or the Google Professional Cloud Architect are still highly respected because they test deep architectural knowledge, not just service recall. If this roadmap was helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more content on building a high-impact tech career. And let me know in the comments, which of these three pillars are you going to focus on this year? I read every single one. So, let's put it all together. The roadmap to a $250,000 cloud engineering salary in 2025 isn't a secret, it's a strategy. It's not about endlessly collecting certifications. That's the old map, and it leads to a very crowded, very average destination. The new map has three routes. Pillar 1, achieve deep mastery in a high-value domain like security, Kubernetes, or FinOps. Become the go-to expert. Pillar 2, master the career game. Build a network that brings you opportunities. Interview by selling business impact, and negotiate based on justifiable value. Pillar 3, execute where it matters. Choose the right companies and roles where your skills can create massive value, and document your wins to prove it. This path isn't easy. It takes discipline and focus, but it starts with changing how you see your role. You are not just a manager of cloud resources. You are a strategic partner to the business, a problem solver, and an engine for growth. When you start acting like one, you'll start getting paid like one. The $250,000 salary isn't a reward for knowing the most. It's a reward for creating the most value. Now you have the map. The rest is up to you.